guys, it's Amy. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you're all having a wonderful day as always. So today I want to talk to you guys about the recent updates in the Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell case. So if you guys have been following this, and even if you haven't, I'm sure everybody knows by now that the remains of the two children, JJ and Tylee, have been found in the backyard of Chad Daybell's home in Idaho. I gotta tell you, when I saw the first update that this had happened, I was pretty shocked. I actually screamed. I didn't expect them to ever find their remains, nor did I ever expect them to be found right in Chad's backyard, literally. I did think they were probably dead. I mean, after all this time, Lori's sitting in jail because she doesn't want to talk about where her kids are. You'd have to assume that they were dead. There was always the chance that I'm sure some people thought maybe they were being held by the cult. And yes, it is a freaking cult. It's a crazy person cult. I guess any cult would be a crazy person cult. They could have been being held by the cult. They could have been being held by other people to save them from the cult. I guess that's always a possibility. But the most likely thing was going to be that, yes, they were dead. I just assumed that they were probably left at Yellowstone. Their bodies were probably left at Yellowstone, and they were never going to be found. So it was a shock to see that they were buried in the backyard at the Daybell house. And it was literally feet, I want to say, from Chad Daybell's bedroom. So he slept right by their dead bodies, if you think about it that way, which is really disturbing. We haven't gotten a great amount of details yet, but one of the things that was said that I think struck a chord with a lot of people was that they said that one set of remains was concealed in an especially egregious manner, but they didn't say why that was. So just on speculation, I can only assume that one of the bodies had probably been burnt and the other hadn't. I'm basing this on just guessing. They're in the backyard. We know from the neighbors that they'd had a bonfire, which was unusual for them. They never had bonfires, and then all of a sudden they're having a few bonfires in the backyard that were massive. The neighbors said they were up to 10 feet and just huge, huge fires. So I'd have to assume that they were probably trying to get rid of the bodies that way, and maybe they realized that it's not that easy because you have to get the fire temperature so unbelievably hot that it's practically impossible. So my guess is that they tried to do that with one of the bodies. When that didn't work, they buried both bodies in his backyard. So when they found the two bodies, one of them had just been buried and the other one had been burned first. So it was probably charred. That's my best guess. However, we haven't been told anything yet as far as what was done to the bodies. So it's a complete guess on my part, just based on the fact that there were bonfires and things like that. So if you guys have heard anything else or have any idea of what they might have meant by that, please let me know in the comments below. I'm just guessing. So I know a lot of people have been following this case. It's such a sad case. It's unbelievable. And now, we know that Lori Vallow has been in jail since she originally got arrested in February, and now finally Chad Daybell has been sent to jail. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Chad Daybell to be arrested because while Lori has been in jail because she won't talk about the kids, and you know she married Chad Daybell, so why he wasn't involved, why he didn't get arrested too, I never really understood that. But now he's finally in jail, and that's interesting because now he's not able to talk to Lori. And my understanding is that he went to visit her constantly, but now they're in separate jails in separate locations. So they're not going to be having any communication. But he wasn't arrested for murder. No one has yet to be arrested for this murder. He was arrested for just the concealment and getting rid of evidence and things like that. He was not arrested for murder. And Lori, of course, was not arrested for murder either. Lori, the mother of these two children, I think everybody was waiting when the kids were found. Everybody was waiting for what's Lori going to say? What is Lori going to have to say about this? Of course, she's going to say something. She's the mother of these kids. All the speculation has been on her, and now the kids have finally been found. And then, we wait around for her to say something, and not a fucking thing. We had straight radio silence from Lori Vallow. Now, I had a lot of thoughts about that because Lori Vallow is just a psycho and a horrible person, clearly. But I would have thought that she would have made some comment. If you're a mother and your kids have been missing and you honestly had nothing to do with it, when they're finally found, you're going to say something. You're going to be upset because you've officially found out that your children are gone forever, but you're also going to be maybe at least satisfied at the fact that the police found them and now they can rest in peace. You would have some kind of opinion, and I would think you would say something just to make sure you look like you didn't do anything wrong. So her not saying anything, that's a Casey Anthony move. Although Casey Anthony got off for some fucking reason, so you never know. But it was weird that she didn't say anything. However, maybe she just figures we only got a month to go before the end of the world, and then it really doesn't matter what they look like because we will all be dead. So I guess they probably figure, she's a god. She's lived on many different planets as a god. So she doesn't have to say anything to anyone. She's above us all in her crazy ass mind, in her crazy ass cult. And she really doesn't care what any of us think about her because pretty soon she figures we'll all be gone. Insane. One other thing that I found strange was when the remains, I mean, obviously we all knew that those were the children, right? But when the police had not officially said that it was the kids yet, one of the grandmother had said that, she already knew it was them. Maybe not them, but at least she was sure it was JJ. She was sure one of the remains was JJ. Why would she assume that one of them was definitely JJ? I mean, I could understand everybody thought it was definitely the kids, but to say it was definitely JJ but not definitely Tylee, I didn't understand that. Which again led me to wonder about the egregious manner. I'm thinking that maybe JJ was easier to identify because what ended up being Tylee's body was concealed in a very egregious manner. So that's why she knew. But I really don't know. And I thought that was really strange that she said that. Another thing was that at the hearing, when Chad Daybell had his hearing, and he was held for $1 million bond, and the lawyer had said, he's not a flight risk. He should be able to be bonded out. He hasn't tried to run away. He showed up at this hearing, even though he was in jail and he had no choice. He still showed up. So he's not a flight risk. Well, that's not true at all because, well, clearly we know that they'll just get up and go to Hawaii whenever they feel like and use their ukuleles. But when they were digging up his backyard, he was sitting in his car. And as soon as they found something, he took off in his car. They had to chase him down the street and arrest him down the street. So he did try to leave. So saying that he's not a flight risk is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And if you look at this man, Chad Daybell just looks like such a punk. Like, I just picture him curled up in a ball in the corner of the jail, kind of kicking his feet away from all the other guys that are trying to bother him. He is not going to survive in jail. Lori Vallow just looks like kind of a tough bitch, if I'm being honest. That's not going to take any shit. I think a lot of people look at this as Chad Daybell is the one who's kind of the leader of this cult. There's bodies piling up, and you're talking about living everybody out and zombies. That's when you've hit the crazy train right there. That's when you've lost your shit. And being that Chad was obviously, like the leader of this cult, and kind of bringing these words to everybody. He was the one starting up this cult, this group. It made everybody kind of lean towards the side that it was probably Chad Daybell that was making all of these murders, these deaths, whatever you want to consider them, making them happen. But if you think about it, Chad Daybell is not known for doing things like that prior to meeting Lori Vallow. I haven't found anything in his history that says that he's had any problem with the police as far as there being deaths around him at any point until he started up a relationship with Lori Vallow. And, yeah, we know that Chad Daybell's wife died mysteriously in her sleep, possibly of a heart attack or what have you. I mean, let's be serious, that's probably poison. I would be checking antifreeze or something because, well, antifreeze makes you hurt for a lot longer. But, I mean, yeah, I would presume that that's poison because I didn't want her around anymore. But Lori Vallow, she has several husbands, a brother, all sorts of people piling up next to her as, the bodies keep going. And even when her husband, Charles Vallow, was shot by her brother, she's interviewed by the police that day and she's laughing and, oh, my neighbors don't know me yet because we've only been here for a minute, which makes it perfect for me to have someone die in this house so we can move on to the next house and be happy. Whatever. So that's what's going on so far.